He pulls up in a $200,000 Lamborghini, Rolex gleaming on his wrist, designer suit tailored to perfection. Every material symbol of success is carefully arranged to broadcast one message: I have money, therefore I am attractive. He approaches women like a walking billboard, displaying his net worth instead of his personality, his possessions instead of his presence. Yet by the end of the night, he's going home alone, while the bartender, a guy making minimum wage, who owns nothing more valuable than a vintage leather jacket and a collection of terrible jokes, leaves with the woman he'd been trying to impress all evening. This scene plays out in nightclubs, coffee shops, and social gatherings across the world every single night. Men who could buy and sell small countries struggle to generate a degraded attraction, while men with empty bank accounts seem to effortlessly capture female attention. The wealthy man stands there confused, maybe even angry, asking the same question that haunts millions of successful men. If money is supposed to make me attractive to women, why am I still invisible to them? Today, I'm going to shatter the most expensive lean modern dating culture and reveal what actually creates female attraction. Information that could save you chasing the wrong goals and thousands of dollars spent on the wrong solutions. Let's address the elephant in the room immediately. Money matters, but not in the way you've been programmed to believe. The modern dating advice industry has created what I call the wealth deception matrix, a complex system of beliefs that confuse correlation with causation and mistakes advantage for absolute honesty. Here's the grain of truth that makes this deception so powerful. When all other factors are compulsory, women will generally choose the healthier option. If you present 20 men with identical personality, identical conversation skills, identical confidence levels, and identical ability to create attraction, the one with more money will typically win. This is logical, rational, and completely predictable. But here's where the deception begins. That scenario most never exists in real life. Men are never identical in their personalities, social skills, emotional intelligence, or ability to generate attraction. The wealthy man's assumption that his money gives him a significant advantages based on a fantasy scenario where everything else is equal, a situation that occurs approximately never in actual social dynamics. The matrix bombs complete when men start believing that money can compensate for deficiencies in other areas. They think, I might not be the most charming guy, but my bank account should make up for. This belief leads them to neglect actual skills that create attraction while investing enormous time and energy into accumulating wealth that may have a minimal impact on their romantic sex. I've witnessed this delusion destroy countless men who achieve financial success, expecting it to translate into romantic success, only to discover that their relationship problems followed them up. The bitter irony is that some of these men had more female attention when they were broke and hungry than they know that they're rich and satisfied. The reason so many successful men fail with women isn't because they lack attractive qualities, it's because they're trying to solve the wrong problem with the wrong tools. They've fallen victim to what I call the substitute solution syndrome, where they invest in things they hope will do attraction work instead of developing factual mechanisms that create attraction. Think of this syndrome like trying to get in shape by buying expensive workout equipment instead of factually exercising. The equipment might make you feel like you're making progress, and it might even be useful if applied correctly. But owning a $5,000 home gym doesn't automatically give you. Similarly, owning a $200 car doesn't automatically give you charisma. The substitute solution syndrome manifests in predictable patterns. Men convince themselves they need six-pack abs to attract women. So, they spend months in the gym, physique, while never learning how to hold an interesting conversation. They believe women will be impressed by their expensive watch. So, they research timepieces for hours while never developing the confidence to approach women authentically. The syndrome is particularly subjective. Becky's substitute solutions feel like progress. Buying a luxury car is easier than developing personality. Upgrading your wardrobe is simpler than upgrading your social skills. Accumulating wealth is more straightforward than learning to create. Emotional chemistry. These substitute solutions provide the illusion of working toward romantic sex, while actually avoiding their harder work of developing actual attraction skills. What makes this syndrome so devastating is that it often works just well enough to reinforce the wrong lesson. A wealthy man might occasionally succeed with women who are attracted to his lifestyle, which convinces him that money is the key to his success. He doesn't realize that is attracting a specific type of woman, while values resources over personality. And he remains oblivious to the vast majority of women who are never impressed by his possessions in their first place. What actually creates attraction in women has nothing to do with financial statements, and everything to do with emotional states. Women are attracted to men who can create interesting emotional experiences, not men who can create physical experiences. This is FA's emotional magnetism principle, and understanding it revolutionizes how you approach every interaction with women. Emotional magnetism operates on the principle that human beings are drawn to sources of positive emotional stimulation. Think about the people you most enjoy being around. They're not necessarily wealthiest people you know. They're people who make you feel good when you're with them. They make you laugh, think, feel inspired, or experience emotions that you don't access in ordinary daily life. Women experience same psychological pull toward men who can create compelling emotional experiences. A man who can make a woman laugh until her sides hurt is more attractive than a man who can buy her expensive dinner that she forgets the next day. Man who can create mystery and intrigue through conversation is more magnetic than a man who creates intrigue through expensive possessions. A man who can't make a woman feel understood and intellectually stimulated is more valuable than a man who can make her feel financially secure. The emotional magnetism principle explains why broke musicians, struggling artists, and charismatic bartenders often have more romantic success than wealthy businessmen. They've learned to create attraction through emotional engagement rather than material provision. They understand that women want to feel something interesting, not just see something expensive. Emotional magnetism is accessible to every man regardless of his financial situation. Because it's based on developed skills rather than accumulated resources, a minimum wage worker can become emotionally magnetic through practice, study, and concise development of his personality and social abilities. Perhaps the most important element in authentic attraction is what I call inner confidence architecture. The internal structure of certainty that makes a man naturally appealing regardless of high external circumstances. This architecture is built through success experiences and sustained by an unshakable belief in one's own value. True confidence is fundamentally different from the performed confidence that many wealthy men display. Performed confidence is external and circumstantial. It depends on props, symbols, and environmental fix to maintain itself. Remove the luxury car, expensive clothes, and high-status environment. Unperformed confidence crumbles because it was never internally generated. Inner confidence architecture, by contrast, is self-sustaining and circumstance-independent. It's built through the accumulative spree of overcoming challenges, achieving goals, and proving to yourself that you can handle whatever life. This confidence doesn't fluctuate based on external validation bias. It's grounded in self-knowledge rather than other people's opinions. Theoretecture includes what I call strategic amnesia, the ability to selectively forget past failures while maintaining vivid memory of past success. This isn't self-delusion, it's psychological. Self-management. Men with strong inner confidence train themselves to focus on evidence that supports their belief in their own capabilities, while downplaying evidence that suggests. Selective memory system creates what appears to be irrational confidence outside observers. A man with strong inner confidence architecture approaches woman as if success is inevitable. Not because he's never been rejected, but because he's trained his mind to operate from the assumption that this interaction will be successful. This assumption becomes self-fulfilling base. Confidence itself is attractive to women. Inner confidence. Architecture can be built regardless of current circumstance. A man doesn't need wealth to prove to himself that he can overcome challenges, achieve goals, and handle social situations successfully. Confidence is created through action, not acquisition. The second pillar of authentic attraction is what I call emotional engagement mastery. The ability to create compelling psychological experiences for women through conversation, presence, and behavioral choices. This mastery represents the practical application of understanding that women are attracted to how you make them feel, not what you make them think about your wealth. Emotional engagement mastery begins with understanding that every interaction with a woman is an opportunity to create an experience rather than make an impression. Instead of trying to impress her with your accomplishments, possessions, or status, you focus on generating interesting emotional states through your personality and communication style. This mastery manifests in several specific abilities. Comedy mastery allows you to create joy and laughter through timing, observation, and playful interaction. Women are powerfully attracted to men who can make them laugh, because laughter creates positive emotional associations and demonstrates social intelligence. Mystery generation involves creating intrigue and curiosity through strategies in information management. Instead of revealing everything about yourself immediately, you share enough to be interesting while maintaining a mystery to keep her curious. This isn't manipulation, it's understanding that psychological tension creates attraction while complete transparency often kills it. Edge cultivation involves developing a slightly dangerous or unpredictably purring lies that creates accidentally creating fear. Women are attracted to men who represent a deviation from their normal routine, who can introduce elements of adventure and unpredictability into their lives. The power of emotional engagement mastery is that it creates attraction that feels natural and effortless to women. They are not consciously aware that you're using specific techniques. They simply find themselves enjoying your company and wanting to spend more time with you. The third pillar of authentic attraction involves understanding and applying what I call the hierarchy creation strategy. The art of positioning yourself as the dominant figure within whatever social context you inhabit. This strategy is based on the principle that women are attracted to men who occupy leadership positions within their social environments, regardless of how large or prestigious those environments might be. The hierarchy creation strategy, the counterintuitive principle that it's better to be the most important person in a small group than a relatively unimportant person in a larger prestigious group. A man who hosts a weekly poker game for 8 friends has more social dominance within that context than a man who attends exclusive events where he knows no one and has no particular status. This strategy begins with identifying contexts where you can realistically achieve dominant status. This might mean becoming the organizer of social events in your friend group, developing expertise in a particular area that others seek advice about, or creating regular social gatherings where you naturally become the central figure. The key is finding context where your particular skills, interests, and personality can be leveraged to create leadership opportunities. The strategy also involves understanding that social dominance is largely about attention management in any social group. The person who commands the most positive eye attention tends to be perceived as the highest status individual present. This attention doesn't have to come from wealth or formal authority. It can come from being the most interesting story, the most knowledgeable about topics people care about, or the person who makes others feel good about themselves. The strategy also recognizes that you can create your own hierarchies rather than trying to climb existing ones. Starting a meet group, organizing social events, or becoming known as the person who brings people together atomically places you in a position of social leadership. These self-created hierarchies often provide more sustainable dominance than trying to achieve status within existing social structures where you're starting from the bottom. One of the most dangerous misconceptions about attraction is what I call the status illusion trap. The belief that absolute status matters more than relative status in social dynamics. This trap destroys countless men who achieve high absolute status in professional contexts, but fail to translate that status into romantic success. The status illusion trap operates by convincing men that their professional achievements automatically make them attractive in social contexts. A successful surgeon believes his medical degree makes him inherently more attractive than a bartender. A wealthy businessman assumes his financial sex gives him natural advantage over men with lower incomes. These assumptions are often completely wrong in practical social situations. The trap exists because professional status and social status operate according to different principles. Professional status is formal, officially recognized, and based on credentials and accomplishments that can be verified objectively. Social status is informal, contextual, and based on how peers respond to your presence in specific social situations. A surgeon might have high professional status, but if he's socially awkward, humorless, and unable to create interesting conveniences, he'll have low social status in a nightclub or party setting. Meanwhile, a charismatic bartender who can entertain groups of people, tell engaging stories, and make every yoni around him feel good, will have high social status in that same environment. Women can sense when men are using professional status as a substitute for personality, and this approach often creates the opposite of attraction. It suggests that the man doesn't trust his natural self to be interesting enough, so he's using external validation as a social crutch. This perceived insecure tenderness attraction, even when the man's professional accomplishments are genuinely impressive. Perhaps the most costly mistake men make regarding wealth and attraction is falling victim to what I call the resource dependency delusion, the belief that increasing their wealth will proportionally increase their attractiveness to women. This delusion, men focused on the wrong goals while the skills that actually create attraction remain underdeveloped. Their source dependency delusion operates by creating a false sense of progress. Men tell themselves, once I get that promotion, women will find me more. Once I buy that house, I'll have more dating success. Once my business takes off, my relationship problems will solve themselves. These beliefs create the illusion that they're working toward romantic success, when they're actually working toward goals that have minimal impact on their ability to attract women. This delusion also creates what I call the wealth escalation trap, where men keep racing financial bar for when they'll be attractive enough to succeed with women. First, they think they need to make 6 figures, then they need to make multi-figures, then they need to buy millionaires. Each financial milestone fails to produce the expected romantic results, so they assume they just need to reach the next level. The truth is that the relationship between wealth and attraction has set returns. The difference in attraction between a man making $30,000 and a man making $100,000 might be noticeable to some women in some contexts. But the difference between a man making $300,000 and a man making $1 million is largely invisible in most social situations. The resource dependency delusion prevents men from recognizing that their romantic challenges are skill problems, not resource problems. A socially awkward millionaire will struggle more with women than a charismatic man making modest income. What destroys most men's understanding of attraction is their fundamental misreading of female psychology and what actually drives women's romantic decisions. Men often project their own attraction patterns onto women, assuming that women are attracted to obvious displays of sources in the same way men are attracted to obvious displays of physical beauty. This projection creates what I call the male mirror fallacy. The assumption that female attraction operates like a reverse version of male attraction. Men think, I'm attracted to women who look expensive and well-maintained, so women must be to men who look expensive and maintained. This logic seems reasonable on the surface, but completely misunderstands how female psychology actually works. Women's attraction triggers are far more complex and contextual than male attraction. While men can feel immediate physical attraction based purely on visual information, women typically need psychological and emotional information to feel genuine attraction. A woman might notice that a man is well-dressed and financially successful, but this recognition doesn't automatically translate into romantic interest the way physical beauty translates into male interest. The reality check reveals that women are attracted to experience rather than exhibitions. They want toffee or something interesting when they're around you, not just observe something impressive about your lifestyle. A manwo can make a woman feel intellectually emotionally understood, or psychologically intrigued, will generate more attraction than a man who can make her feel materially impressed. This psychological reality explains why women often choose men who seem objectively less successful than other available options. The woman dating the struggling musician isn't making an irrational choice. She's choosing the man who creates the most compelling emotional experience for her, regardless of his financial portfolio. Understanding female psychology also reveals that women value potential and trajectory more than current status. A man who is clearly growing, improving, and moving toward his goals can be more attractive than a man who has already achieved everything but appears stagnant. This is why ambitious broke men often compete complacent rich men in romantic contexts. The actual mathematics of attraction operates on what I call the attraction multiplicative effect, rather than the attraction addition effect, that most monasm governs romantic success. Men typically think attraction works through addition. Good looks plus money plus status plus nice car equals attractive man, but attraction actually works through multiplication. Confidence times emotional augmentums. Social leadership equals genuine attractiveness. The multiplication effect explains why men who are zeros in any of the core attraction areas often fail completely with women, regardless of their strengths in other areas. A man with infinite money but zero confidence creates zero attraction. A man with perfect looks but zero ability to create emotional engagement generates zero lasting interest. A man with impressive acquaintance but zero social leadership skills produces zero romantic momentum. This mathematical reality also explains why some men seem to punch above their weight romantically. A man who is moderately attractive, moderately successful, and moderately confident, but excellent at emotional engagement, can generate more total attraction than a man who is extremely wealthy and extremely good-looking but terrible at creating such. The multiplication effect also means that improving any single factor can dramatically increase your total attractiveness. A man who develops from poor to good confidence doesn't just get slightly more attractive. He might become exponentially more attractive because his improved confidence amplifies the effectiveness of his other qualities. This mathematics also reveals why wealthy men often plateau in their romantic successes by continuing to accumulate. Once you have enough money to dress well and participate in social activities, additional wealth provides diminishing returns because it's not being multiplied by improvements in the other essential factors. Understanding attric mathematics allows men to make strategic decisions about where to invest their self-improvement efforts. Instead of hoping that more money will solve their romantic problems, they can focus on developing the multiplier that will amplify whatever strengths they already possess. The most practical implication of understanding quotient attraction is implementing what I call the direct solution protocol. Focusing your time and energy in developing the specific skills that actually create attraction, rather than pursuing substitute solutions that create the illusion of progress. The direct solution protocol begins with honest assessment of your current abilities in the three core areas that drive attraction: confidence, emotional engagement, and social leadership. Instead of asking, how can I make more money to become more attractive? Zarinia, we ask, how can I develop and shackle confidence, master emotional engagement, and create social leadership opportunity? This protocol requires redirecting greases from external displays to internal development. Instead of spending money on expensive cars, clothes, or lifestyle upgrades, hoping they'll make you more attractive, you invest time and energy in developing convenience skills, social confidence, and the ability to create interesting experiences for women through your personality. The protocol also includes systemic practice in real-world social situations. You can't develop social confidence by reading about it or watching videos. You have to practice approaching women, starting conversations, and learning to create a chemistry through actual interaction. This practice is often uncomfortable initially, but it's the only way to develop real competence in attraction. Environmental optimization is another component of the direct solution. This means position interest in social contexts where you can practice attraction skills and where your developing abilities will be appreciated. Join social groups, attend events, and participate in activities where you'll have opportunities to with women in natural low-pressure situations. The direct solution protocol is more challenging than pursuing substitute solutions because it requires confronting fears, practicing new skills, and accepting that competence development takes time. But it's also more effective because it develops actual abilities, rather than hoping that external factors will compensate for skill deficiencies. If this breakdown of what actually creates attraction beyond wealth has challenged your assumptions about money and dating success, subscribe to this channel for more insights into the psychology of authentic attraction. Hit that notification bell because understanding these principles could save you years of pursuing expensive solutions to problems that require skill development, not resource accumulation. Share this video with any man who needs to understand that the most attractive qualities a man can possess cost nothing to develop, but require everything to master. The goal isn't to dismiss the value of financial success, but to understand that romantic success operates according to different principles than professional success. Remember, women aren't attracted to bank statements. They're attracted to experiences. They don't fall in love with net worth. They fall in love with personality. And the most powerful truth of all is that every quality that creates genuine attraction, confidence, emotional longevity, ability, and social leadership can be developed by any man willing to focus on the right solutions instead of chasing expensive suits. Your romantic success isn't determined by your financial statement. It's determined by your ability to create compelling emotional experience for women through the force of your personality, and that ability is available to every man who's willing to develop it, regardless of what's in his bank account.